Bat-nipples. Bat-nipples, bat-nipples, bat-nipples. Don't look at me like that. It's gonna be the opening joke for this. Anyway, yeah, this is the movie with the Bat-nipples. Batman and Robin, the one with George Clooney. I am thanking the movie gods that there is a director's commentary for this. This is definitely one of the most infamous superhero, especially Batman movies ever made, I think. For any of you who haven't seen it, Bat-nipples, George Clooney, that's about it. Uma Thurman from the producers. And it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator Genesis. Let's hope Mr. Schumacher takes accountability for his actions. I also do want to say, rest in peace to the man. I know he died like, it was either earlier this year or last year, but he still does good work. And even a movie like this, I really appreciate, especially the production design. If you haven't seen it before, you'll know what I mean as soon as we get into it. But he's still done some good work in his career, and he will definitely be missed. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, this is Joel Schumacher, and I'm assuming that if you're listening to this, then you're interested in directors' commentaries on a film, and so I'm sure I don't have to tell you these are the titles.
Okay, you know, if I was in his position, like maybe even the first time doing a director commentary, I feel like that's exactly what I would say. Like, yeah, if you're into director's commentaries, then you're watching one. I appreciate that.
And also the wonderful people at DC.
Bat-nipples. Yes. There we go. Oh, yeah, and bat ass and bat crotch and more bat ass. And okay, we get the point.
There was enormous pressure on us to create inventions in the film that could be turned into toys. I learned a new phrase in my life called toyetic, whether a movie is toyetic or not, and how many toys people can get out of it.
It's kind of interesting. I wonder if they still use that term, considering the toy market isn't as big as it was in the 90s. I guess you could say Toy Story is very toyetic, I guess.
I had hoped very much after the success of Batman Forever that the studio would allow me to do Frank Miller's comic book, Batman Year One, and it would have been a much smaller, intimate, darker, younger Batman, but that is not really what my job was. And I'm not saying that I didn't come into this with my eyes wide open. I did, but there's a definite trend here to try to make the movie lighter, brighter, more kid family friendly. Anybody who knows a lot of my work knows it's pretty much on the dark side also. So this was definitely a new experience for me too.
Yeah, can I just say it's so nice that they did allow for the darker Batman movies after this. I think this was the last one before the Christian Bale trilogy. So I'm glad that they had that greenlit, and you know, now there's Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is also pretty dark, not kid friendly. I'm not a huge like DC Comics fanboy, but I do know who Frank Miller is, and I have heard of Batman Year One. I think that is a animated TV movie or something. If any of you guys have seen Frank Miller's other movies like Sin City and Watchmen, I do love those, so I feel like it would have been pretty cool if we did get a Frank Miller Batman movie. Maybe we could still, probably not, but you know, food for thought.
It's the hockey team from hell!
Yeah, Robin. Exactly.
Of course, a lot of the stunts are done by, you know, a wonderful team of stuntmen. And I know they're trying very hard to get recognized for the Oscars and for the Academy. And I wish them the best because they not only contribute so much to an action movie that it can make or break a moment, but they also many times risk their lives and do things that a lot of movie stars get credit for.
He's right about that. There's even this one YouTube channel, I think it was called Your Everyday Theorist, who makes a lot of videos on accidents in film, and a lot of them revolve around stunt people getting horribly injured or losing their lives. And I'm glad Joel Schumacher recognizes that too. And I think, like you mentioned, that would also be cool if they got like some sort of recognition for the Academy, the Oscars or something like that. I mean, it's been a while since this movie was made, so, you know, could still happen. He almost dropped that there.
What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age. Did Robin just whimper there? What was that?
I thought you were going to stay in the museum. Round up some thugs.
How about nice to see you? Glad you're here to save my life.
Wait, he didn't say ice to see you? Ugh, that's kind of a disappointment, actually.
Surf's up!
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see his point about everything being put in the movie to be made into a toy, like surfing Batman and Robin. I'm 100% sure there's a toy of that somewhere.
More back to the new invented Batcave. We wanted to give it all the high technology that was possible because we all know that Bruce Wayne is a billionaire and could have everything at his fingertips.
Yeah, like Windows 95. Actually, that looks more like Windows 3.1.
And if you really like dark movies, right after this I made 8mm. And you can go and see that, and it doesn't get much darker than that. I'm not pushing my own wares, I promise you.
Nothing wrong with plugging yourself. I mean, especially for this. I know he's made better movies than this, so please, Joel, plug your stuff.
All right, Master. Now, I don't know what you're looking for, but so we're clear from the start. I'm straight.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Too cliched.
I'm Mr. White Christmas.
Also, I remember this environment from Lego Batman throwback.
That he would have had a love in his life and would have lost his love.
Man, I want that computer monitor. That's dope as hell.
As you can see so far, there's a lot of beautiful women in Batman and Robin, and here is Elle Macpherson.
Hey, there's beautiful men in there too. Come on, let's be inclusive.
Bob Kane, as you know, created Batman in 1939. There was never a day when a beautiful woman worked on Batman that Bob didn't come and visit. He was very spry and very active, well into his dotage.
Wait, what does that mean? Spry and active? Okay, I don't...
If you love a movie, there are hundreds of people that made it lovable for you. If you don't like it, blame the director. That's what our name's there for.
That's a great quote, honestly. I mean, I'm sure that's what a lot of people did when this film came out, and there was a lot of backlash against it. He's right. It's hard to put blame on one person when a lot of people are involved, but I mean, his name's right there as the spearhead of the whole thing, so...
I remember when we did St. Elmo's Fire, she was a very famous model, and studio didn't want me to hire her because they said she wasn't a real actress, and I think she's definitely proven a lot of people wrong by now.
God, some of these shots are almost giving me motion sickness. That Dutch tilt really corrupted a lot of 90s cinematography.
Get a little music, get a little dancing, more pretty girls.
God, is that the only thing he cares about? He keeps mentioning pretty girls.
The famed heart of Isis, on loan from the collection.
Isis what? That must mean something else in a Batman universe. That's okay.
Never leave the cave without it.
You two boys aren't gonna stop.
Okay, the credit card was definitely a promotion. So we were definitely gifted with many corporations wanting to be advertised in the film. I'm not so sure that's a good thing, but I definitely agreed to it.
What possible sponsorship or company would that be for the Batman card? Like, everything on it is fake goth card. Oh, hey, it has its own Wikipedia page. Okay, well, I have no idea what promotion he's referring to. Just that it says Batman Forever on it, I guess? I don't know.
And
oh my gosh, man, I want that computer. I definitely want that cool computer.
Batman and Robin was not as successful as Batman Forever. It was still successful, but I don't think is considered a success, because I think that I disappointed some people. I just wanted you to know it ruined all our lives. George went on to become one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Uma went on to get married, have 2 beautiful children, and star in the Kill Bill series. And Arnold went on to be governor of California. So yeah, it just destroyed all of us.
Yeah, I wasn't really around at the time this came out exactly. The backlash must have been quite spectacular. It's so weird though, because like, if you've seen Batman Forever, it's pretty similar to this, I'd say, like in terms of tone, characters, and action.
Are you trying to get under my cape, Doctor?
A girl can't live by psychoses alone.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
So I don't know why people were so upset about this one, but not the other one. I mean, I'm not as plugged into the Batman and Robin hating verse as some other people. It's just it's always been kind of weird to me. I mean, I have my own little Batman right here, except he's a bit fat.
I just love the idea of Arkham Asylum, a place for the criminally insane, which is probably where I belong.
You know what? Same, Joel. Same.
We had to create a lair for Poison Ivy. So it had to be a place where there would be steam and a pool. And so we chose to use an old steam bath.
Why not like a greenhouse? Like they did that for like pretty much every other one of her lairs, but whatever.
Until my Batman movies, I'd never made a movie that any of my godchildren could see. So this was really fun to put Lucas in the movie. There he is. See how tough he is?
I like how it seems like a trend for some of these directors to put their family members, I guess, into them, like with Robert Rodriguez from the Spy Kids one we watched. He also did that, so that's kind of cute.
Hey, I said, you got a visitor.
That's Jesse Ventura on the left and Rolf Mueller on the right.
Jesse Ventura?
Jesse Ventura's controlling your mom.
Light me up like a Christmas tree.
Uma had an enormous amount of input on her costumes and also her hairdos.
That's cool for sure. I mean, how many other actors can say that they've done that? I mean, I don't really know, but cool.
This is one of those movie diseases. You know the movie diseases, you make them up. She's suffering from McGregor syndrome, which is the same illness that Alfred is suffering from. But of course, in a comic book, we're not going to bring you real disease.
I mean, you could. What's wrong with that? Have Batman cure cancer or Mr. Freeze cure cancer?
As you know, comic books usually rely on a very small color palette because they don't have every color in the book. It would be too expensive. So there's a limited color range, and a lot of it are primary colors. So we tried to give you that feeling you might feel comic book acting sometimes. Its heart was in the right place, and it was meant to amuse.
I do kind of like that this commentary was recorded some years after the movie came out, because you can tell some of the bits, you could tell he faced backlash on. And like, honestly, I kind of agree with him. I think I'm finding more comparisons to this and Adam West's Batman than I am like most other Batmans. Still appreciate his work on this, regardless.
The only two people left in the world.
Yes. Adam and Evil.
Bruh, his name isn't even Adam. I thought he was gonna say Adam and Ivy. Ivy kind of sounds like Eve.
I was just talking a minute ago about old-fashioned movie star glamour. George is probably one of the most, I mean, he sure looks great in a tuxedo, and he has that timeless movie star elegance that most of us are trapped.
It's his chin. Come on, it's so chiseled. That's like 90% of it. And he's also just charismatic in general too, but...
I love you, old man.
And I love you too.
That's so touching though.
Don't worry, he's not going to die. Somebody had taken famous people's faces and kind of computer generated them onto naked bodies.
What?
And there was one of Chris O'Donnell. He's facing the screen in the Batcave, so every time he tried to act, I would put the picture up on the Bat screen behind George.
I feel like that might be a borderline harassment there, but I hope Chris was actually okay with that. Jeez.
Well, you know, you can't be Batgirl unless you have a suit. Just happens to fit perfectly.
Oh yeah, no Bat-nipples on that one. I wonder why.
Oh no, he's going to die.
I hate to disappoint you, but rubber lips are immune to your charms.
Yeah, like that has got to be the most 1960s Adam West Batman gag I've ever seen in any of these movies. So this really does feel like an Adam West Batman movie, like on steroids and 90s, you know, whatever. It's stupid and doesn't really, you know, hold up to anything serious, but it's not supposed to, so.
Chicks like you give women a bad name.
Didn't know she was supposed to be representing all women. Wait, what? That was like so obviously reversed during the shot. What was that? Why is that in the final movie? That's so strange. Of course, Joel isn't gonna say anything.
I found the Batcave.
We gotta get those locks changed.
She knows who we are.
Guess we'll just have to kill her.
Yep, we'll kill her later. We have work to do.
Such an uncomedic way to deliver that line. He just says it like so matter-of-factly.
Yep, we'll kill her later. We have work to do.
Or maybe that's the point. I don't know. It's very strange.
The whole city, the whole planet. Seemed to me Superman was always having to...
Oh no, not Taco Bell.
Planet.
No!
And a chance to blow things up, I guess.
Yeah, I like the way he thinks about that. If I were to direct a movie of good size, I would definitely have that in mind as well.
Speaking of elaborate comic books.
Yo, wait, what was that keyboard though? UWC, what kind of keyboard is that? I've never seen that before. That's so bizarre. Whatever, random detail.
I just thought it was important for Batman not to murder people. It wasn't necessary. And also, if people want to keep any of the villains alive, to come back. That I never had Batman really murder anyone.
Well, yeah, isn't that kind of like written into his character and is like made up of his code of ethics? I mean, I think that's pretty well known about his character too, is how much out of the way he goes not to kill people. Especially in the Batman Arkham City, I think, when he's like trying so hard not to kill the Joker, he just like almost kills himself.
Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
Anyway, that's not your original idea, Mr. Joel.
Grab onto my belt.
Man, the mic really peaked there, jeez.
A miniature, of course.
Okay, for real, this is completely unrelated to anything, but miniature explosions in movies are the best type of explosion you could do just because of how much detail you can get. Like in especially movies of the like 70s, 80s, 90s, mostly 90s era, there were a lot of miniature explosions in action movies and they're just, mwah. I love seeing as much destruction, rubble, everything flying everywhere as much as possible. You don't usually see too much of that in CGI explosions. It's mostly just like a fireball, pillar of smoke. Sometimes you do see some rubble, but like with miniatures, you know, obviously it's real, so it looks real. And just, yeah, I could go on about that forever.
She's a student, she's a motorcycle racer, she's a computer genius, she's Batgirl. I felt if we were going to make some kind of kid-friendly Batman, that maybe little girls would come and they would have a heroine, because they don't often have one in the Batman movies, so that was the intention there.
Yeah, and that also just, you know, super sucks that they canceled that Batgirl movie that some people, you know, thought might actually look kind of cool. And I'll give this movie credit. It's like one of the only Batman movies that even has Robin, like, as a full superhero and, like, has Batgirl. And I feel like if there was another Batman movie with, like, the three of them, there's a lot of potential for character dynamics, character progression. I mean, not like this movie has a lot of great character design, but it could, and that's what I hope might happen someday.
Thank you for spending this time with me. Obviously, you had some interest in Batman and Robin, or we wouldn't have spent this time together, so I hope this has been informative. I hope I haven't been too boring, and hope to see you at the movies or on the next DVD, so thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Schumacher. I'm gonna stick around to see if he pops up again. Yeah, I love that they kind of tease like a sequel, but it never happens.
I had absolutely no idea that putting nipples on the Batsuit would become international headlines. I think people have to get out more often.
All right, well, that was Batman and Robin. I honestly hadn't even really seen that movie in like a decade. Didn't really remember most of it, but honestly, even like just seeing most of the movie on its own, it really wasn't as bad as I remember, or as bad as like some people made it out to be. Because the way I view it, there's two different Batmans. There's the Batman, kind of like Clooney's Batman here, Adam West's Batman, that are more on the goofy side, kind of like do cheesy, campy stuff for laughs. And then there's Batmans like Christian Bale's Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman that are meant to be a lot more serious characters and being a more serious movie in general, which actually is, it's kind of like, Batman's kind of like Godzilla in that way. Because Godzilla's got the more serious American ones, that the new one, Godzilla -1, by the way, you guys should watch it, it's so good. Those ones, and then the classic Godzillas, a lot more goofy, campy. But it's just like one of those things where there's the two different sides, and for me, anyway, I can definitely enjoy them both. I think a lot of the campy jokes in this movie were genuinely funny. Like, every single line that comes out of Arnold Schwarzenegger's mouth is a freaking one-liner. Like, come on, that's just kind of, how do you not laugh at that, even just for being stupid? And like Batman Forever was pretty similar in that way too. So again, I wasn't there at the time, but I probably have to watch Batman Forever again maybe to get the whole picture. But I don't see where too much of the hate for this one comes from. Like, if you're into the serious Batman, sure, which I guess is kind of what Michael Keaton's Batman movies were going for. Like, I think those ones were kind of a pretty good mix of the silly and the serious. So I guess, like, this one being a departure from that and just more on the silly side, kind of throwing people off a bit. And I also have the director commentary for Batman Forever as well, so if you like this one, let me know in the comments, and I can do another video on Joel Schumacher's commentary on that one as well. But yeah, thanks again for all of you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one or whatever, and something Bat-nipples.